Bear with me. I'm having a little technical difficulties on my TradingView side. It's showing that I am not streaming on that side, and I gotta figure that out. Bear with me. Try reloading the tab. Maybe it'll show that. Okay, it is showing. Okay, all right. Okay, now I got the ball rolling. All right. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, my neighbors. How you doing? I am so sorry about that little glitch in the middle. If I'm probably gonna have to edit it for my YouTube. By all means, go ahead and click the like, subscribe, and the bell button. It's right there down below, so that way you can go ahead and get as much information as possible. Especially my YouTube. I'm up to 111 subscribers. Thank you, everyone that are subscribed and is getting my messages. Also, down below is my Instagram and my Twitter. By all means, follow me. I would do put some important information every so often, especially when I publish my ideas. Last part, if you don't have a trading community, go ahead, come over. We will teach you how to trade. I am one of the future coaches over at Cheat Code, and the link down below will lead you to cheatcode.com. All right, so come join our Discord, and I will see you there. Actually, I got to open my floor at 8 o'clock, so this is going to be a fast one. By all means, please put your tickers on the screen if you want me to go over it. If you don't want to, that's all right. But let's get into the charts. The first one that we're going to talk about is the NASDAQ. NASDAQ has been doing some very interesting things. Like yesterday, I was explaining to y'all, is that we have this hornetide downtrend. Actually, you know what? Let me use me other chart. As soon as I see where that bad boy is, where are you, bad boy? There goes the bad boy right there. The reason is because I had put some drawings on this one that are not on that one, right? Okay, so we have this downward trend here, right? And I think I had this built on the 1 hour. So what we're doing right now, it looks like this is going to be a key level of support. Why is it a key level of support? Let's look left. All right, so it looks like over here there was a point where we kind of treated it as resistance and support. Break of structure happened right here because of that wick, and this is roughly around December 12th. So we are given some days back, right? So far we are all the way back to December 12th pricing. Think of it as like time traveling a little bit, right? And if we break below here, with the cheat code algo is letting us know that we are TP1. That's probably one of the reasons why we bounce like that, because this first bounce happened at 3 o'clock, and we're probably going to go for TP2, 3, and 4, especially the way the stochastic is looking here. Looking at the daily, looking at the weekly. So now I think there's going to be some type of consolidation reset, but I don't think it's over yet. I want to see if this MACD, I'm sorry, the stochastic gets back under here. So that said, remember I drew these lines. I said there's a couple imbalances that we're putting in place. Here they are, right? With the way the market is moving at this point, it does look like it wants to kind of continue up to this upside here, right? So I would say if there is any consolidation, it may consolidate like this and then come down. That's a possibility. Or it could just hit here and then this is no longer, boom. This is no longer a problem, and then this will be a more of a drop and straight down here. Either way, I do think that there is some lower sides. There might be a rally to kind of flirt and attract the bulls in, but I think it's just going to be retracement for us to continue back to the downside. So let's keep an eye on NQ when it's all said and done, so that way you make the right decisions and don't just jump into a trade just because you want to jump into a trade. This is not going to be very feasible. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and go into crude oil. Crude oil is doing its thing. I was talking to a few people that was like, "Oh, it is flying," and right now, yeah, it is. It's trying to really take off, and it's being a little bit annoying. I did think that we was gonna go ahead and try maybe 67 when we got to 69, but it looks like they bought up all the dip and they're trying to take it back up. Got a couple of imbalances here. Basically, we're recreating imbalances along this way. So I think this bullish order block that's on this 30-minute is the area that needs to break. But if we look at the daily, nice little space, nice little gap. So I do think that this whole entire push up is built on this whole entire jambalaya, jambalaya rice order block, right? Good morning, Casey. Happy New Year. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. So I think this jambalaya rice order block is going to be where oil is struggling to actually go ahead and really break down to that downside. So, um, I want to see what it does with this bearish order block. This is the second time we're coming to this bearish order block. I'm looking at anything that is at $75 is going to be sold. Let me go ahead and mark this off. That is a psychological level and it's a key level. And you could kind of see we've used this over and over again since November of 2022, again in 21. And this was resistance over here in July 21 when we had that run up that oil went straight dumb. All right, so that's probably what I will be keying off on. If this actually tries to make any real moves to the upside, it's probably going to be where we reject that, and I think that should give you some good levels for oil. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We got ourselves gold. Well, gold is weird. I did not think that they were going to get the bounce on top of this order block here. I was thinking it was going to finally fall through here. I did mark off this level, saying that there was a possibility we could bounce off of it based on what was going on here. And you notice yesterday we did make that same bounce. I'm thinking some of the order blocks down here needs to be tested. Even this massive one that created that jump up over in December 14 with contract expirations, and I really don't. I don't see the 2150 at any point. I know the pundits on CNBC and everything else, they are, giving their ideology of gold, and it's a possibility we could get back up there again. Look, I just want y'all to make sure that make sure the oscillators are at least pointing in that direction. This is not a time with the stochastic pointing down for you to try to take gold to the upside. Maybe when it gets to 2000, I probably would take it serious. But right now, I am waiting for a really, really good discount, a bullish order block. This one's good for intraday, but not for something a little long term. We're going to come down to the 2 hour. This is probably going to let you know also. If we look at it on the 2 hour, what's happening? We're starting to show weakness. It kind of looks like a bear flag. If we put a fib right here, it hasn't hit the 50% mark to invalidate, and it might use the 50 EMA as a rejection. So there's a lot of confluence for gold to get rejected really, really hard. Oh, Lyco Smith Klein. That's a good one. So we could get this stochastic kind of cross it over and then start pointing out to the downside. All right. Let's go ahead and continue. If you have any questions, by all means, just go ahead and shoot it in the chat as well. I am looking at the chats, and we got a couple good ones. I was thinking the same thing, Casey. Like, healthcare got beat up so bad. There's a possibility healthcare is something that everybody's going to be targeting. So I think that's a good area for you to kind of jump into. All right, let's go ahead and continue. The next one we got is silver. So silver is making its move to the upside to its best of its ability. Well, the problem is with silver is that we had to retest this area. I put this whole entire gap. I didn't think we was going to get most of it like this. So I do think gold may have some issues based on the fact that silver is so close to getting out of the gap, and we're probably going to come down maybe $22.60 because there's a little bit of an imbalance, maybe even 22 395. That's probably a couple areas that silver is going to touch before it actually tries to make any rallies to the upside. So keep an eye on those two levels, maybe even mark it off on your chart. I would say auto fib at 2261 would be the greatest point for it to reverse or hold above before you start trying to take it to the upside. But they pretty much are getting rid of this whole entire morning star, and it looks like it got exhausted up here. And I don't think this is a full real retracement. It's more of a reversal retracement. And we came to the 786. and that's our reversal. So we're probably going to put in what looks like a very janky Head and Shoulders and start making silver come down. All right. I think the next one, yep, British pound. So the next one that we have is British pound. I'm over here kind of toying with this, making sure I got this right. So British pound, the way it's operating, remember, we go up, they go up, we go down, they go down, and right now the market was going down for quite a bit. So this one's kind of detaching itself. Let me check NQ one more time. Yeah, we kind of still are going down. So we're starting to get detached from the British pound a little bit, which is okay because if you think about it, the dollar needed some place for it to go, and if people are starting to shift into this currency, they're probably going to use this channel as people are starting to get out of the equities and probably play around with the bonds. So if British pound is going to find any way to reverse, it has to get rid of this downward trend line. Let me put this as downward potential, and we'll call this uptrend. So if we can get a break of this potential downtrend, maybe use this bullish order block as support, you probably could see the British pound start to take off a little bit and put some weight on the dollar so that way it can calm itself down. There's a couple of imbalances here, right here. Then they fill the rest of this one right here. And it looks like they came specifically for this 2-hour imbalance, and it kind of had a block on top of it. So that's part of the reason we're rejected. So British pound does look good for us to go ahead and take this a little bit further down, and the dollar should be strengthening. So this should kind of give you a signal that we may get some more bearish momentum inside of the market. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next one. Next one is natural gas. It's a little funny. I haven't heard anyone really start talking about natural gas. I do listen to some of those pundits on TV, and they start talking about natural gas, and there was like, oh, it might be over. I was like, yes, absolutely, it is over. But what I will tell you is this: remember those lines that I told you about? Natural gas is trying to get to that level. If you did not play this, it's okay. There will be a retracement. This is that overall trend that I was telling you about. It needed to kind of get there so that way it can reject. It's okay. You could wait for the retracement, or you could short it when it hits that red line, because this red line should be served as a tough area. The target I was aiming for was 2.848. And you can see we're already oversold here. And the weekly, this could be one of those catalysts where it tries to break through. But natural gas is for the winter. So if it's super cold where you are, you could kind of gauge it by the weather a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. I know it sounds a little cheesy. I'm not trying to turn everyone to weathermen or women, right? But if you really start to see the market starting to make this thing rally, is because they're noticing that natural gas prices will be going up and they're trying to make money off of it. And you can see this. The weekly is trying to push up, but I think it's doing it at the wrong time. Here's January, March. It didn't start picking up until late August and September. Here is January, March, a lot of volatility, right? Kind of zigzagged itself until we got into the maze where it kind of topped off. We got hot, and you got yourself a bearish divergence here. So these are the things that you can kind of key off on so that we can understand how natural gas works, and then you can probably make a better sound decision on how to trade it. So put a nice little chat or a nice little message if you do make money on natural gas. That way people can understand that you understand what's going on and we all making money. All right, let's go ahead and get to the next one, Russell's. Like I said, this is the one that's so whack. I can't find a logo, so I just put something that said the word small cap. Very cheesy, but it's okay. I just wanted to make sure you understand who the Russell's is. All right, so Russell looks like it is putting more of my lines, starting to attack there. So we're getting ourselves what looks like a W. We may come to the 50 EMA. I think that's the target that they're looking for. If we could get to the 50 EMA, we could get ourselves a nice little push-up. Did they get the rest of this? Yeah, they got the rest of this imbalance. There's a couple up here that they could come after, but it's probably going to wick. That 2,000 level, this is the one that I told y'all to keep an eye out. From Wednesday, early in the, I think in the afternoon, I think we started seeing this. I doubted it for some reason, and I'm a little mad at myself. I was like, well, the Russell's leading off, and NQ was kind of oversold at the time, so I kind of played myself a little bit, but I kind of recovered when it kind of made this major drop towards the end of the day. But yeah, so I'm looking for this to kind of consolidate, maybe reject at this level or break through here, test the 2000 roughly around, I don't know, Asian session, and then reject. But this long line over here, I don't think this one's going to get tested until we break all through these consolidations prior in this lower register. So I'm going to write a nice little level here. I don't want to see this break 1979. If this thing holds 1979, I can see this retesting 2000 and then some. All right. So this one's going to be fun for the Russell. Don't forget, Russell leads the market. Please chart it. It really, really does help in your charting itself. All right. The dollar. The dollar. The infamous, undeniable, incomparable dollar. Right? Looks like it's put in what could be deemed later on with this rejection area. And I'm going to draw it out for y'all. Could be a very ugly inverse, something maybe around this level, head and shoulders. I'm going to leave that on there just to kind of toy with it. So I do think that there's going to be some sense of a rally. I really do. And the way this chart is setting up, it looks like it wants to do that. I'm looking at potentially the level. Actually, let me up this a little bit. About right here. And about right here. Right? I'm looking at the level of somewhere around here. 101797 is where we're going to retrace to after we break through. Because I did draw this on the 1 hour and we enjoyed a nice bounce. If you wasn't on a cheat code trading floor, I did a pop-up yesterday. Oops, we gotta put this thing on silent. We did a pop-up class, and we kind of looked at the FOMC minutes. We were able to kind of capture some of this bounce. This bounce allowed us to kind of really take this to the upside on the dollar, which means the market dropped. So we took some bearish positions, and then we had a nice little drop here, and some of us took that position when we kind of made that market rally a little bit. So this was a nice little fun trade. We are making an increment downtrend here, but I am looking forward to kind of get a bounce here. Probably reject somewhere around this level here. And then we're probably going to go ahead and continue to the downside and then bounce on 101.79. So this is going to be very interesting in the near future. And we're going to go ahead and see what the dollar has for us. So let's go ahead and move on. We got Casey got a couple of tickers for us. And I got to go open the floor before 8:30 hits. We got jobs reports. So let me go ahead and grab one of my charts. Yep, there we go. The first one that he has is GlaxoSmithKline, GSK. If you don't know who they are, just go into anything that is in that pharmaceutical area of your grocery store, and it's usually like those over-the-counter type of stuff. I can't really put my finger on one of them. I know Abbott makes like Pediasure, but GlaxoSmithKline has their version. I forgot what is it, Pediasure and then Insure. I don't know, whatever the case may be, but they make like little things that's in your cabinet right now. GlaxoSmithKline on a daily is what he's looking at. Ooh, what a gap up. I did say pharmaceuticals. Told some friends I did not jump into any, but I'm probably going to start looking at it now. You have $39 entry with a $36 stop loss and a $43 take profit. So let's start talking about the entry. $39. I like the $39. Of course, it's a little tardy to the party, but you wanted that confirmation. You would have to probably look at it from the weekly part. And your $43 is a good target. It brings us to the TP3. Your stop loss being $36. I do like it because they would have to erase and engulf this whole entire candle and then erase it. So I would love for you to use that as a stop loss, maybe even $37. This is where I would be concerned and start eyeballing it. So maybe set an alert at 37.36 to keep an eye on it. But yeah, 36.99, nice stop loss. So I do see more upside because this does look like a very ugly W on the weekly. And let's see the oscillators. It looks a little tired. I do not like The MACD histograms, it just shows consolidation and it's kind of pinching, but we could get ourselves a nice push to the upside. Let me see. Oh yeah, this could be where they just got it. Enough is enough. That could be it. Yeah, I like it. There's a nice little reversal that we kind of hit roughly right here on 2022, and it's trying to find its way. There was no way it was going to get back into that $30 level, $20 level. So I would say yes, this does look really, really good for more upside. So keep an eye on Lyco Smith Klein. RGN. I'm trying to channel my inner. I can't think of the company. Is that the one that did the COVID pill? Regeneron. That's the name. I knew the ticker name, but I could not get my finger wrapped around it. This was the one that I remember Trump was touting, saying Regeneron, Regeneron, Regeneron. That's what it is. Oh wow, really? I have not looked at this ever since I ran away from COVID stocks. Oh wow, this thing has just been steady. Oh, this looks good. Hold on. This is pretty much doing a nice channel. Oh man. All right, it is in its toppy area, so I would say maybe be careful. But if it's going to break out of here and send this to a second deviation of an extension, you could get up to about here. Let's see what your targets are. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I would say 1,000 is probably more of the target because it's inside of what looks like a channel, and it could break down. Your entry being at 932, I think, is a solid one. I just don't like your stop loss being at 845. That is kind of deep. 845 will bring you back under here. Let me zoom in so you can see what I mean. You're talking about being under the center pivot. I get it. I would love this as entry more than a stop loss. If we're going to break down, 873 is more than enough. That's my take on that. Um, Take profit 1,000, 998, because I think there's going to be a lot of profit taken when it gets here, because this is almost like a very accumulation. Every time it got under the 200 EMA, they just bounced it. This one was a deep one in 2022, but this one held. You could have put a rule around the 200 EMA. So this one does look good. They have earnings coming up. Oh my God, they give that much earnings to their shareholders? Oh, wow. I should have, you know what? Let me red list this only to watch it. It's way too far removed. I can't take it serious right now. So to kind of give you an idea, this is the pandemic, right? So 2019, 2020, people started jumping into it. And of course, COVID happened around that summer. People jumped into things like this. It leaked down, created the channel, and then look where we stopped at again. Kind of like trying to put that double top type of action and never extended. So it just kept on chugging. So they just could never make that whole entire M. This was a second attempt with a higher high M, right? And it kind of broke out and then erased it in three failed strokes and then bounced in two right here. So I'm looking at this as a potential exhaustion. Could lead to bearish divergences. Let me see what the weekly is. The weekly does look good though. You know what? $1,000. I have to put my hat on that. I think you should stop at 1,000, and that should give you what you're looking for, Casey. All right. On that note, appreciate every single one of y'all. Thank you for taking the time. Don't forget hit the rocket. That's how Trading Views whole entire algorithm works. If I get a lot of rockets, they put the information up top. And if I give really good information, let other people know that I do give real good information through the booster rocket. All right. Also, my link is down below for my Instagram and Twitter. Go ahead and follow me there. My YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the button. I do mindset classes. Also, we are looking for people that want to be in the contest to win $1,000. All right. So go ahead and check out my YouTube for the contest search. And I would love for y'all to go ahead and join with that one. And on that note, I see y'all later. Thank you. Have a great morning, my neighbors. Later.